The galaxy was peaceful. For hundreds of years, the Great Alliance had kept order between the stars. Many species lived together, trading knowledge, building cities, and exploring new worlds. The Alliance believed they understood every kind of life: herbivores who loved peace, carnivores who were strong and aggressive, and omnivores who were slow, careful, and never a threat. So when a small blue planet named Earth was discovered, the Alliance sent a scout ship. The report came back simple. Species type: omnivore, status harmless. No weapons on the first contact, no defense shields needed, just a few observers to watch and learn. Veln, a Zentari observer, was among the first to land on Earth. He was tall, with pale skin and 4 black eyes that missed nothing. He had studied hundreds of new species, but humans were different. When he arrived, he was welcomed with smiles and gifts. The humans were friendly, laughing, and curious. They asked questions about the stars, shared their food, and even joked with him. But something bothered Veln. It wasn't their weapons, it wasn't their ships, it was their eyes. They looked ancient, like they had seen more than they ever spoke about, like they were remembering pain while smiling. One day, Veln visited a human military base in the cold region called Alaska. There, he saw something he never expected. A soldier named Marcus had been shot during training. An accident. But instead of calling for help or panicking, Marcus laughed. He calmly pulled the bullet out of his leg, wrapped it with cloth, and said, "Hey, just a scratch. Let's finish the drill." Veln stared in shock. "You are injured," he said. Marcus just grinned. "I've had worse, this is nothing." Later that night, Veln sat in his room, confused. He started reading human history. Wars, endless wars. Battles that lasted years. Weapons that could destroy entire cities. Civil wars, world wars, cold wars. He expected to find pride in their records, but instead, he found regret. Humans didn't love war. They hated it, they cried over it, they remembered every loss. But still, they fought when they had to. "They cry for peace," Veln whispered, "but bleed like demons." The next week, a human explorer team invited Veln to join a mission. They traveled to a forest where wild animals still lived. It was quiet. The team laughed and shared stories. But suddenly, a large bear attacked from the trees. It was massive, hungry, angry. Before Veln could react, a human woman stepped in front of him. Her name was Tara. She didn't run, she didn't scream. She stood tall, raised a flare, and shouted loudly. The bear paused, confused. Tara threw the flare. It exploded in light. The bear turned and ran. Tara turned to Veln and smiled. Animals test fear. Sometimes you have to be louder. Veln asked her, "You weren't afraid?" Tara nodded. "Terrified, but fear doesn't stop us. It sharpens us." That night, Veln couldn't sleep. He thought about everything he had seen. Humans could laugh, cry, and fear. But when danger came, they stood strong. Not because they didn't feel pain, but because they did. Back in space, the Alliance reviewed his first report. One elder scoffed. "They are omnivores, they are weak. Emotion slows them down," but Veln disagreed. "Their emotions are not weakness," he said. "They are fuel." A week later, Veln received a secret video. It came from a battlefield. On a distant planet, a human squad had been attacked by pirates. The pirates used energy blades and heavy guns. The humans were outnumbered, but they didn't run. One soldier was caught in an explosion. His arm was burned. Yet he kept fighting, dragging his friend to cover. Another was shot twice. She kept shooting until the pirates retreated. In the middle of the chaos, a human ate a protein bar calmly, sitting behind cover while bullets flew overhead. Veln watched the video 5 times. His hands shook. They weren't just soldiers. They were something else. No rage, no madness, just purpose. And still, when it ended, they laughed together, joked about the fight, and helped each other walk back to safety. Veln whispered to himself, This is not what we thought." He sent a message to the Alliance. "Reevaluate Earth, reevaluate humans. They are not harmless." No one listened. The Alliance still believed what their old rules said. Carnivores are dangerous. Herbivores are peaceful. Omnivores are nothing. But Veln knew the truth now. He had seen it. Humans smiled like friends, they fought like predators, and they survived like monsters born of fire. The galaxy had misjudged them, and deep inside, Veln felt a chill, because something told him. Humans were only just getting started. After returning to his ship, Veln couldn't stop thinking about the humans. They laughed, they loved peace. But when danger came, they changed. Fast, cold, focused. He asked himself a question again and again. Why are they like this? So he started digging deeper. Veln went through human history files. At first, it felt like looking into a nightmare. Wars that lasted for years, weapons that melted cities, stories of soldiers fighting in snow, rain, fire, and darkness. Even children had grown up in war zones. They don't avoid pain, Veln whispered. They wear it. But something else confused him even more. Humans regretted these wars. They didn't celebrate them. In human museums, there were not just weapons. There were letters written by dying soldiers, photos of burned cities, tears frozen in time. They didn't hide their darkness. They remembered it, so it wouldn't happen again. The Peace Summit. Soon after, a meeting was called. Several alien species wanted to test humanity's position in the galaxy. A peace summit was arranged. Humans were invited. They sent a team of diplomats. No weapons, no soldiers. But the Krell, a proud and old warrior race, didn't trust humans. At the summit, one Krell leader stood up and spoke loud. Earthlings eat both plants and flesh. Confused species. You are nothing but soft-jawed beasts. The room went silent. The human diplomat, an older man named Mr. Harlan, smiled softly. He sipped his water. Then he said calmly, "You've never seen an angry omnivore. Don't make us show you. No threats, no raised voice, just a warning." The Krell leader laughed, but Veln felt something in the room shift. Even the walls seemed to hold their breath. 3 days later, the Krell leader and his ship left the summit. 3 days passed. Then, silence. No signal, no message, just gone. The Krell Council claimed their ship was damaged by space storms. But Veln received a private recording, footage taken by a stealth probe. He watched as a group of black-armored humans entered the Krell ship in the middle of the night. They didn't fire, they didn't yell. They moved like shadows, fast, clean, terrifying. The recording ended with the Krell leader whispering, "I was wrong." Observations. Veln wrote a private note for the Alliance High Council. Humans do not use strength to impress. They use silence to warn. When they fight, they don't lose control. They stay calm. They plan. They finish. Still, many in the Alliance laughed off his warnings. "They are just emotional omnivores," one elder said. "They cry too much to be a threat." But Veln had seen something they hadn't. He remembered the soldier pulling out his own bullet. He remembered the calm diplomat at the summit. He remembered the Krell leader's last breath, and worst of all, he remembered the human who ate a snack during gunfire like it was a normal day. Cliffhanger. Ending. The quiet message. One evening, Veln received a private message from a human commander. The screen turned on. The commander looked straight at him. He smiled, then said just one sentence. "We don't want war, but we're very, very good at it." The screen went dark. Veln's hands shook. He knew, deep down, the galaxy had woken something it didn't understand, and it was too late to turn back. They crossed the line. A secret fleet built by an ancient empire called the Thraxis Dominion launched a surprise attack on Earth's outer colony, New Terra. No warning, no mercy. Cities burned. Millions screamed. The Thraxis thought they would break Earth's spirit, but they didn't understand one thing. Humans don't break, they wake up. The first response. For one day, Earth said nothing. No return fire. No messages, just silence. Then the human fleet moved, not the usual patrol ships. This time they sent the Black Sun Armada, a fleet only used in the worst situations. Ships black as night, engines quiet, hulls built for only one purpose, war. New Terra burns, but hope stands. In the ruins of New Terra, small groups of survivors held the line. Old farmers picked up rifles. Engineers turned broken machines into weapons. Children carried messages between bunkers. One alien mercenary watching from a distance whispered, "They don't fight because they are strong. They fight because they can't imagine giving up." Operation Retribution. The human response was swift and terrifying. The Thraxis fleets didn't face one big battle. Instead, they faced 1,000 tiny defeats, drones that disabled ships from inside. EMP storms dropped from orbit, saboteurs who had already infiltrated their bases. Weeks ago, humans didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like predators. Quiet, fast, unforgiving. Veln's realization. Veln sat alone, watching footage. From New Terra, he saw a human mother carry her injured son across fire and rubble, then return to help others without resting. He saw a pilot crash, crawl out bleeding, and still drag a wounded alien to safety. This isn't just survival, Veln whispered. This is something deeper. This is will. He sent a message to the Alliance. If we do not understand humans now, we never will. They don't fight for power. They fight for each other. The Thraxis. Surrendered 2 weeks after the attack, the Thraxis sent a full surrender. They offered ships, credits. Even planet's Earth didn't reply immediately. When they did, it was only one message: never touch our children again. Cliffhanger ending. The final key later that night, a hidden file arrived on Veln's terminal. No sender, no trace. It contained a short human recording. A deep voice spoke slowly. "We tried to be kind. We tried to be calm, but kindness is not weakness. Calm is not fear, and we are not what you think." The video ended. Veln stared at the dark screen, and he understood. Humanity had stopped holding back, and something far older, far darker, was now watching with them. The galaxy had seen war before. They had seen conquest, rebellion, extinction. But they had never seen this. A united Earth. Not just humans, not just soldiers, humanity itself. The Call Earth sent one final message to the stars. This is not a threat. This is not revenge. This is a warning. We came in peace. We still want peace. But if you come for our homes, if you harm our people, we will bring the storm. The rise of Earth's allies, something strange began to happen. Other species, once neutral, even afraid, started to join the humans, not because they were forced, not because of fear, because they had seen the truth. In war, humans protected the weak. In peace, they shared their food, tech, and medicine. In crisis, they never ran, they stood, and so, the humans gained something rare: loyalty. The last push, the Thraxis Empire tried one final attack. A hidden base deep in the Black Nebula, massive fleet, superweapons. A trap set for Earth's leaders. It didn't matter. The humans didn't wait to be attacked. They came first. This time, they brought the full force of Earth's armada, joined by allies they had once saved. The insectoid Krell warriors, the aquatic Thuna healers, even former pirates who now flew under the Earth flag. It was over in hours. And when the dust cleared, a new flag stood where the Thraxis throne once ruled. A flag not of dominance, but of survival and choice. Veln's final report. Veln sat in the observation chamber, writing his last words as Earth's analyst. He smiled softly. They were wrong. The galaxy was wrong. Even I was wrong. Omnivores were never weak. They were simply balanced, and humans are the most balanced of them all. They can build or destroy, hug or hunt, roar or whisper, and they chose to be kind until they had no choice. He closed the file and sent it to every council, every empire, every planet. Final scene, the voice of Earth on the anniversary of the New Terra attack. Earth broadcast one final message, a child's voice, simple and clear. We are human. We eat plants and meat. We cry when we're sad. We laugh when we're happy. And when you hurt our family, we fight like the monsters you thought we were. The screen went black. No threats, no sound. Just a quiet, powerful silence. End title. They thought omnivores were harmless. But they forgot one thing. Omnivores choose. And this time, humanity chose war. To protect peace. It started with a mistake. A small alien empire called the Drenari Union attacked a human colony ship. The ship was carrying families, scientists, and farmers. No soldiers, no weapons, just settlers heading to a peaceful world. The Drenari expected fear. They expected surrender. What they got instead changed the galaxy. The ambush, the Drenari pirates stormed the ship. They pushed people around, they broke equipment. They laughed as they sent a message to Earth. We have your people. Pay, or we take the ship. The humans aboard stayed. They didn't beg, they didn't cry. One young colonist, Ava, whispered to her brother, "Wait, they'll come for us. Just wait." The pirates laughed. "Your army is far away." They were wrong. Earth's answer. The message reached Earth. No speeches, no politics, no warnings. A single human warship changed course immediately. It was called the HSS Firewake, a stealth-class vessel, quiet as space itself. Within 48 hours, it arrived near the Drenari ship. No one saw it coming. Then, in one silent moment, the Firewake moved. The silent storm, the Drenari ship was cut open by surgical strikes. Their weapons were disabled, engines melted, gravity controls shut off. A team of human operatives boarded silently. No noise, no panic, just focus. They moved like ghosts. One pirate fired his weapon. He missed. A human calmly walked forward, disarmed him and knocked him out in 2 moves. Another pirate tried to run. He was found hiding, hugged by a child he had threatened just hours before. The rescue team didn't harm the pirates more than needed, but they made sure every pirate knew, this was mercy. You don't want to see us angry. Velen received the rescue footage. He watched it in silence. He saw soldiers lifting crying children, handing out water, covering burned wounds. He saw them smile gently, right after taking down armed attackers. They switch between peace and war, Velen whispered, like it's part of their nature. The Drenari Union tried to explain themselves later. They blamed poor leadership. They apologized publicly. But Velen knew the truth. He read between the lines. The Drenari weren't sorry. They were afraid. Alliance meeting at the next. Alliance meeting, Velen stood to speak. He showed the video. Many members clapped for the human rescue. One elder said, "At least they protected their own." But Velen shook his head. "You don't understand. This wasn't protection, this was a warning shot." He paused, then added, "They didn't just rescue their people. They studied their attackers. They disabled without killing. They sent a message without words." Cliffhanger ending. The turning eyes later that night, Velen received a message from an old friend, another observer, stationed near the edge of human space. The message was simple, just 3 words. "They are watching." Attached was a photo. It showed a human ship floating in the dark near an alien border. No weapons out, no engines on, just watching. Velen stared at the image, his heart pounding. Humans weren't attacking, they were preparing, and the galaxy was still underestimating them. After the Drenari incident, something strange began to happen. Across the galaxy, whispers started. Not official reports, not news broadcasts, just fear. Quiet and cold. Alien traders spoke in hushed tones. Pirate fleets changed routes. Old warlords went silent. Entire systems locked their borders when they saw a human ship on the scanner. They weren't told to fear Earth, they just did. The Watchers, in deep space near the edge of the galaxy, humans had set up listening posts, small, quiet stations. No weapons, just data gathering. But they picked up everything. Pirate movements, secret military drills, alliance arguments. And sometimes, things no one else noticed. At Station Echo 9, a human technician named Riley picked up a strange signal, a coded transmission hidden deep in the static. She cleaned the audio, then froze. The voice said, They underestimated the omnivores. We all did. Then silence. Velen's discovery back on the Alliance research station, Velen continued studying humans. He found an ancient human quote in one of their old war books: "Speak softly and carry a big stick." He read it over and over again. They don't just react, he said to himself. They prepare quietly and then strike hard. More reports came in. A human cargo ship stopped a pirate ambush using only drones. A single Marine team rescued 300 hostages in under 6 minutes. Human diplomats convinced 2 alien enemies to sign peace with only words and smiles. No one could explain it. They didn't act like warriors. But they fought like masters. The Silent Border, the Zarketh Empire, known for its aggression, had once taken 10 planets by force. Now they paused all expansion near human space. Why? Because one of their scout ships vanished after entering. A human-patrolled zone. No battle, no explosion. Just gone. Later, a small box was found floating at the Zarketh border. Inside was the scout ship's black box, and one message, written in simple human language: "Stay where you are." Alliance confusion. The Alliance Council held emergency meetings. "We created rules to predict species behavior," one elder said. "Omnivores were never a threat before." But Velen stood again. His voice was calm, but his words shook the, "You didn't create rules, you created comfort. Humans break patterns, they don't fit in your boxes. They feel everything: joy, pain, rage, fear, but they never drown in it. They swim in it, they use it." Cliffhanger ending. Message in the darkness. At a secret lab near the core of the galaxy, a strange energy signal was detected. Not natural, not machine-made. It was language. The lab's translator worked on it for hours. Then it displayed just one phrase: "We are not what you think." No one could confirm where the message came from, but the signal direction was clear. It came from Earth. Velen stared at the translation, and for the first time, he wondered if humans truly knew what they were either. Fear doesn't stay quiet for long. It grows, spreads, changes things. Across the galaxy, small powers began arming themselves, not against each other, but against Earth. They held secret meetings, built new weapons, created defense plans. But one truth remained: you don't win by fearing humans, you only wake them up, and someone was about to make that mistake. The Spark, the Valeri Syndicate, a ruthless alien group, decided to test Earth's limits. They attacked a human science station in deep space. No soldiers, no defenses, just scientists, researchers, and medics. They didn't kill anyone, but they burned the labs, destroyed decades of research, and sent one message: you are not untouchable. Earth's response: Operation Silence. There were no speeches, no warnings, just silence. Then Earth launched Operation Silence. Nobody knew the plan, not even most humans. But one by one, Valeri stations stopped responding. Their fleet bases went dark. Leaders disappeared without sound. One alien smuggler later told Velen in a whisper, "I saw them. No noise, no ships on sensors, just darkness." And then our lights went out. The message they left behind in the ruins of the Valeri. Capital Hub, one thing remained untouched: a metal plate on it written in both human and Valeri language. We could have done worse. We chose not to. Galactic panic. The event shocked the galaxy, not because of how brutal it was, but because of how controlled it was. Humans didn't erase the Valeri. They didn't destroy planets. They didn't even brag. They made one. Point. You touched our peace. Now you know what we hold back. Velen's report. Velen updated his private file on humans. He titled the entry, Omnivores and Fire. Most species choose fight or flight, he wrote. Humans mastered both. They can flee with grace or fight like storms. And they do not act from hunger or madness. They act from memory. He remembered something now. A line from a human novel. Fear is a seed, and humans, they plant it carefully. Cliffhanger ending. The Whisper War. In the shadows of galactic space, rumors began. Strange messages, disappearing ships, all signs pointing to one thing. Someone was preparing to strike Earth directly. Not pirates, not empires, but something ancient, and Vell knew. If they do this, and they won't just wake the human, they'll wake what humans become when they lose patience.